We have been studying different methods for solving quadratic equations. So the last method we're going to look at today is by using quadratic formula. Before we study how to solve using the quadratic formula, it is important to know what the discriminant is and how to use it because it's very useful in determining how many possible solutions or x-intercepts a quadratic function would have. So if you're solving an equation, the discriminant tells you how many solutions you're expecting. Now, since solutions mean the same thing as x-intercepts, the discriminant tells you how many times the graph intersects the x-axis. So using this as an example, let's study first how to find the discriminant before we solve the equation by using the quadratic formula. So make sure that you arrange your equation in standard form such that a is the leading coefficient, so ax squared plus bx plus c. So the constants are 2, -5, and 3 respectively. Those are for the values for a, b, and c. Once you have identified the values of a, b, and c, plug them into the discriminant formula, which is given by b squared minus 4ac. Now, remember your b takes the sign with it. So your b is -5. So when you plug it in here, -5 squared minus 4, a is 2, and then c is 3. So -5 squared is 25 because it's -5 times -5. 4 times 2 is 8 times 3 is 24. So this is 24. So 25 minus 24 is 1. So if we go back to Schoology, if the discriminant is greater than 0, so in other words, if your discriminant is positive, then that means it has two real solutions. That means your graph will intersect the x-axis 2 times. So, let me write it down here. Since the discriminant, oops, I lost that T right there. Since the discriminant is positive, then the quadratic equation has two solutions. Also, the graph has two x-intercepts. So let's do another example in finding the discriminant of a quadratic equation. So let's choose one among here. Well, let's try the one that has a fraction for a value. So the value of your a is 1/2. Your b is the coefficient of x, which is 1, and then your c is -10. So b squared minus 4ac, right? Your b is 1, so 1 squared minus 4. Your a is 1/2, and your c is -10. So this is 1. 4 times half is 2. So -2 times -10 will become +20. So 1 plus 20 is 21. So this means that the discriminant is positive. So that means the equation has two solutions, and also the graph has two x-intercepts. There you go. So that's another example on how to find and interpret the discriminant.